we've seen, without going into details, obviously because we're not technically meant to, is how individuals have used their office and effectively abused their power.
The only thing I disagree with Belle here is that you keep focusing on individuals when the system basically rewards and encourages this type of behaviour. Peter Mandelson and you Mountbatten-Windsor aren't outliers.
I'm as real as a real can get. What you see?
Buongiorno freaks and geeks, welcome back to the channel. Somebody got arrested. Oh my gosh.
Got him. We fucking got him.
So the news actually broke yesterday that Peter Mandelson was arrested by his local bobbies. So I have a day job and I'm usually quite tired after a full day's work. But the knowledge of Peter being walked from his abode into a police car has kept me aroused the whole day. I must have gone through 2 pairs of trousers with arousals.
This is a sick Negro.
So let's see how Channel 4 News has decided to frame this. There was a number of interviews. I was going to do the boring interview talking about the legal side. You know, what does it mean to be arrested under the suspicion of misconduct in public office? But then I realized no one's going to be into that, only me, a certified legal nerd. You won't know this, but I did go to law school in a previous life.
My client has a general right to bail under Section 4 of the Bail Act 1976. The prosecution has raised 2 grounds to refusal the release of my client.
And I guess that bug has never left me. So instead we're going to watch an interview with a Labour backbencher and what does this mean for the Labour Party going forward. And if I could be so bold, this is the worst thing the Labour Party could ever have wished. I mean, Tony Blair led us in the invasion on Iraq and no one got arrested afterwards. And you mean to tell me Keir Starmer, who has been Prime Minister for less than 2 years, has managed to have one of his direct appointees arrested by the Metropolitan Police?
That is a disgrace.
That stuff just sounds so delicious. Anyway, let's get straight into this interview. But before I press play, please don't forget to like, subscribe. It would mean the world to me if you could just perform those small acts of support. And tell me down below, what do you think will happen next? Who else is going to be arrested? I mean, we've had a prince, we've had a lord. Will we have a pauper next? Actually, paupers always get arrested. Forget about that last one. So let's get into this video.
Well, we can now talk to the Labour MP, Belle Ribeiro Addy, who joins us from Westminster. Can you hear me all right, Belle?
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much for joining us. Well, I mean, how damaging for the Labour Party, the government, and more broadly British politics is it to have a figure the size of Lord Mandelson arrested?
Absolutely devastating to all 3 of those questions. I mean, the fact that we still had Peter Mandelson within the Labour Party just really stinks to me, especially when he was caught on camera saying that he woke up every day thinking of ways to undermine Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet.
Filthy piece of toe rag.
And then he was just allowed to swan back into a very important role, i.e. the ambassador to the United States. I mean, more people's heads are going to have to roll. I mean, we've had the arrests. I need to see people resign. I need to see people being sacked. I need this government to be completely toppled, if you ask me.
I think it's hugely damaging, but I definitely believe that we knew this a few weeks ago when all of these issues were raised.
A few weeks ago, more like a few years ago. I mean, we just knew this. This is just common knowledge. If I as a normal pleb outside of politics, outside of the government, outside of inner circles of power, knew about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Big Epstein, and Lord Peter Mandelson? How are you telling me people whose whole lives are politics didn't know about this?
I think what we need to get to a point of now is trying to ensure the maximum level of accountability.
I need maximum amounts of punishment. Forget accountability. We've gone way past accountability. I need him punished severely, especially someone like him who's probably into, old draconian styles of criminal justice. I need him to feel what he, in my opinion, probably advocates for.
That is the only thing I think the British public are going to accept now when we think about the different institutions that have been involved, the different individuals. And actually, I think there should be a wide-ranging investigation into all of these things, how power is being abused. And I don't think any institution, be it the monarchy, a political party or anything like that, should be exempt from such an investigation, because as I said, the major issue has been the damage of trust between us and the British public, and they need to feel that something's being done about it.
Every 3 to 5 years, another scandal comes out about those who purportedly represent us, whether it's the MP's expenses, what happened with Angela Rayner last year, all sorts of things that happen every single year. And if another investigation just means, oh yeah, we're going to get them to do less of that, I don't want another investigation. I want the whole system toppled. The only reason now to do another investigation is to destroy this, I'm not even going to call it corrupt system, because it's acting in the way it was designed to act. And now we are being thrown a couple of sacrificial lambs in the shape of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and Peter Mandelson. They aren't the only two. Everyone needs to go down the drain at this point.
Well, what do you mean a major investigation? You mean a public inquiry? Into what?
A public inquiry, whatever is required. I mean, what we've seen, without going into details, obviously because we're not technically meant to, is how individuals have used their office and effectively abused their power.
The only thing I disagree with Bell here is that you keep focusing on individuals when the system basically rewards and encourages this type of behavior. Peter Mandelson, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor aren't outliers. They are just the ones that got caught. Everyone is acting like this. We need to forget this individuality, even though it does suit the people in power that we focus on individuals. The whole system is rotten to the core.
To go about these behaviours that are effectively criminal. So the idea that anybody in any high office or any institution should shield you from, living by the laws of the land absolutely shouldn't be the case. And I don't think that's what is expected at all. And I think there needs to be a lot looked at in terms of how people are allowed to do these things. I mean, are they shielded by security services, X, Y, and Z, all of these different things that people are now thinking, oh my gosh, how is it that people who are meant to be on the highest level of scrutiny are using their power effectively to commit crimes?
First of all, of course, the Secret Service or security services knew all about this behavior, especially by Andrew. I mean, I just saw a piece come out that British police provided security at Jeffrey Epstein's residence in America. I mean, if that is not a misuse of public funds, I have no idea. In regards to people using the system to commit crimes, yeah, that's going to happen when a system is this bad. A system that pits people against each other, a system that rewards being shrewd, is always going to ultimately reward criminal activity as well.
You're perceived to be on the left. Are some on your side making political capital of this with Keir Starmer?
Two things can be true at the same time. Yes, they are making political capital of this, but who cares? Keir Starmer appointed Peter Mandelson. If he's not held accountable for that stupid decision when his excuse was, oh, he looked me in the eye and told me he barely knew Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know what anything is. Up is down, water is dry at this point. Who cares if they're making a political point scoring of this? Who cares? Like, and this is where Channel 4 starts to lose me, when they try and play into the political game, when at the end of the day you're playing with people's lives. When people like Keir Starmer make stupid decisions like appointing Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States, you are playing with people's lives. This man has already shown, well, through the release of the Epstein files, we've seen that he is going to put himself first and sell off any secrets he can to people he likes the most. I mean, well, like, who cares? Basically, this was just a nonsense question, in my opinion.
Do you know what? I'll be completely honest. I think it damages politicians overall, from the right to the left. Yes, we can absolutely say that there were issues of poor judgment in certain cases, and there've been a lot of issues raised generally about who made appointments, and some people have lost their jobs essentially. But the reality is that the British public are looking at what's happening in politics, and they're not necessarily differentiating between any of us. We are all being tarred with the same brush.
Now, we also saw in Gary's report this sort of investigation now into the activities of the Labour Together think tank and the involvement of the Cabinet Office Minister, Josh Simons. Now, you signed a letter from some MPs calling for a wider investigation. What do you want?
For those that don't know, Labour Together is basically just colourblind Tories. I know Labour's in the name, but they are full Tories who basically just go around and say, I don't see colour. Can you imagine how just disgusting you are as human beings, that you couldn't be bothered to just be in your natural party, which is the Conservative Party, and instead you want to infiltrate, which is still, if you go by the membership card, a socialist party, to push a conservative agenda within the party. And they were fully behind Keir Starmer for obvious reasons, because Keir Starmer is a massive Tory himself. They were created in 2015, and they were a massive thorn in the side of Jeremy Corbyn for obvious reasons, because Jeremy Corbyn was closer to why the Labour Party was created than they could ever wish to be. So any pain that the organisers or the people that launch Labour Together, any pain that they feel, I want to double it, triple it, times it by 10, and give it back to them again.
Well, again, just like I've said before, I want the truth. I want to understand what people in positions of power were using this power to do, particularly when I think, of the manner in which they were looking into journalists and things like that, something which is not expected of our politicians. All of these things have to come out, and actually measures have to be put in place to make sure that things like this don't happen again. So I was pleased to sign that letter, and again, I hope to see some sort of investigation carried out, because if it is just swept under the carpet, it's nothing's going to change.
But again, some people say your side are just using this to kick the right of the party.
Good. They should get a kick in. There should be no right wing of the Labour Party. Kick them some more. Get them out of the party. I say all of this, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to being a Labour Party member, especially with all of the stuff that has come out about them. But anytime someone who identifies as progressive and left gives a kick into the right of the party, I'm going to fully back it.
Is the curiosity entirely honourable?
Well, like I said, I don't believe that it's just about one side of the party or even one party in politics. I think this damages us all. And ultimately, when I'm thinking about what the individuals in Labour together are accused of doing, it's fundamentally wrong. I mean, why would that sort of issue not warrant some sort of investigation? The idea that some people are more unhappy about it than others doesn't mean that it's not fundamentally wrong. And absolutely, it should be investigated. I just don't accept that it's one side of the party kicking the other, because who does that? Quite frankly, who goes about investigating journalists? As a journalist yourself, I'm sure it's something that you find abhorrent.
Well played, sir.
I'll leave that as a rhetorical question. Bel Ribeiro Adi, thank you very much indeed. Now, Australia's Prime Minister has written to Sir Keir Starmer saying he would back any proposal to remove Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor from the line of succession. Despite losing his titles, Andrew is still 8th in line to the throne. The government is considering introducing an Act of Parliament to prevent him ever becoming king, which must be supported by all 14 Commonwealth countries.
Great stuff there by Bell. Big up South London, massive. And who cares what the Prime Minister of Australia has to say? A person on stolen land saying a king of another, well, the member of the royal family within another country, I'd be happy for them to be removed as potentially being the king in the future. The fact that they have to go through 14 different Commonwealth countries to get removed is just stupid. And again, I said it in the last video, look how hard the rich and powerful make it to hold them accountable. They obviously want to live outside of the rules of society. But returning back to, is he still Lord Mandelson? Maybe, doesn't matter. He still got arrested, which is beautiful. Again, I said it when Andrew got arrested. I haven't been arrested, and I haven't had even 5% of the privilege of these two idiots. But what do I think will happen in the long run? I don't know if Peter Mandelson will eventually be charged and have his day in court and be convicted. I don't care about that, to be honest. The fact that someone like him, who obviously went through life believing he was above the law and all working class people, the fact that he had to walk with police either side of him, get into a police car and go to a police station for questioning, all in front of cameras, that in itself will be humiliation enough for me. It might even make him develop a eating disorder, because people like that never believe things like that type of spectacle is ever going to happen to them, or that they'd even deserve it. So yeah, don't expect any more justice than that in regards to suspicion of misconduct in public office. So things are just happening day after day. Boom, 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 boom. What a great day to be looking at politics, I guess. But what does that mean for us? What do we need to do? I think we still need to advocate and support not only candidates but politicians that are for the working class, for the majority. I'm not going to say whether or not you should vote for the Labour Party. All I will say is just look at your local candidates and see where their priorities lie. I don't think everyone in the Labour Party is completely bad, but I do think if you are in the Labour Party and hold progressive views, you're kind of enabling this party to continue in its ways, because you're staying as an MP, as a party member, as a candidate. You're giving them tacit approval when they clearly do not want you in the party. But with that being said, tell me down below, what next for Peter Mandelson? Will he be charged? Will he and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor be charged? Will Andrew be taken from the line of succession? All of this to come next time in British Politics Z.
That ain't it.
Anyway, if you've made it to this point, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. If you don't mind supporting me, please don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.
Oh, well, laughing, I started a joke, which started the oh, well, I started to cry, which started the oh, well, I finally died, which started the oh, well, living. Oh, if I'd only seen that the joke was on me.